All right. Ready to dive into something pretty fascinating.
I'm all ears.
Okay, good. It's the solar plexus chakra,
Oh, interesting.
also known as the yellow ray,
Okay.
and it's the third energy center in the human system.
Right.
It gets pretty deep when you start thinking about its connection to, like, our sense of self, our will, and even our place within groups.
Yeah, it really is a powerful energy center when you think about it. I mean, the solar plexus is located right above your navel, right?
Yeah,
That area we associate with gut feelings and intuition.
totally.
It's like the energetic core of our personal power.
I've always found that connection to gut feelings really interesting.
Yeah.
It's like the solar plexus is where our instincts and our sense of self, like, intersect. So what happens when this energy center is in alignment? What does a balanced solar plexus look and feel like?
Oh, a balanced solar plexus, that's like having a strong internal compass. You trust your gut, you make decisions with confidence, and you assert yourself in a healthy way. There's a sense of self-worth that radiates from you, not in an arrogant way,
Right.
but in a way that kind of commands respect.
That resonates with me. I'm also seeing in the research we have here that a balanced solar plexus is linked to a sense of purpose and direction in life.
Absolutely. When your solar plexus is humming, you have a clear sense of who you are and where you're going. You're not easily swayed by external pressures, because you have that strong internal foundation.
But life isn't always smooth sailing, right?
Right.
Our energy centers can get knocked out of balance.
Oh, for sure.
What are some signs that the solar plexus might be out of whack?
Well, that's where things get a little more complex. The signs can be subtle at first. Maybe you start doubting yourself more, second-guessing your decisions.
Yeah.
Perhaps you feel a lack of control in your life, or you find yourself constantly seeking validation from others.
It's almost like your inner fire has dimmed a bit,
Yes.
and you're not radiating that same sense of confidence and purpose.
Exactly. And as the imbalance grows, you might experience more pronounced issues. Low self-esteem, difficulty setting boundaries, feelings of resentment, or even anger outbursts.
So we've talked about what a balanced solar plexus looks like
Right?
and what happens when it's out of alignment. But what I'm really curious about is this idea that the solar plexus can act as a bridge to the heart chakra.
Oh, okay.
It's mentioned in a couple of the sources we have, and it sounds almost like a spiritual stepping stone.
That's where things get really interesting. The solar plexus, the yellow ray, is seen as a crucial step on the path to opening the heart chakra, the green ray.
Okay.
Think about it. You need a strong sense of self, a solid foundation of personal power
Yeah.
to truly open your heart to others.
That makes sense. It's like you can't truly love others until you love and accept yourself.
Right.
But there's another aspect of the solar plexus that I
Yeah.
find both intriguing and a bit unsettling. Its connection to what's called negative polarity. I have to admit that phrase.
Yeah.
It makes me think of something a little dark.
It's a concept that requires a bit of nuance to fully grasp.
Yeah.
In essence, negative polarity in this context isn't about like good versus evil.
Right.
It's more about a path of service to self as opposed to service to others.
So it's not necessarily bad,
Right.
but it's a different way of directing energy.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is that the sources suggest that those seeking to polarize towards service to self often tap into the combined energy of the yellow and orange rays,
Okay.
the solar plexus and sacral chakras.
This makes me think of those individuals who seem to crave power and control.
Uh-huh.
Those who might even manipulate others to get what they want.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about here?
It's certainly a potential manifestation of this energy, and one of the key signs that someone might be leaning towards negative polarity, according to the sources, is this intense need to control everything and everyone around them.
That control, that need for dominance, it's almost like they're trying to assert their will on the world around them.
It's like a distortion of the solar plexus's natural power.
Right.
Instead of using that energy to fuel their own growth and purpose, they're projecting it outward, trying to bend the world to their will. But there's more to uncover here, and I think it's time we dive into some specific techniques for balancing the solar plexus.
So how do we work with this powerful energy center?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
It is. What are some practical ways to bring the solar plexus into balance? Especially if we're feeling those signs of imbalance you were just talking about.
Well, the sources we have highlight a few really interesting techniques.
Oh.
One that I find particularly powerful is the use of affirmations.
affirmations, those positive statements we repeat to ourselves. I've tried them before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I was fully tapping into their potential.
Yeah.
How do affirmations specifically work with the solar plexus?
It's about consciously shifting your energy. When you repeat affirmations that focus on self-worth, confidence, personal power, you're essentially feeding your solar plexus with positive vibrations. It's like giving your inner fire a boost.
So it's not just about saying the words, it's about really feeling them embodying that energy.
Exactly. One affirmation that resonates with me for the solar plexus is, I am strong, capable, and worthy of achieving my dreams.
Okay.
Feel the power in those words. Let them sink into your solar plexus and visualize yourself embodying those qualities.
That's a powerful one. And speaking of visualization, I'm seeing that's another technique mentioned in the sources. I've always found visualization to be a bit, well, abstract. How can we use it to balance the solar plexus?
Imagine a vibrant spinning wheel of yellow light right above your navel.
Yeah.
That's your solar plexus. If it feels dim or sluggish, imagine breathing golden light into it.
Okay.
Revitalizing its energy. See it spinning with the strength and vitality.
I love that imagery. It's like we're consciously tending to our inner fire, keeping it bright and strong. The sources also mention yoga as a powerful method for balancing the solar plexus. I've done some yoga,
Yeah.
but I never really connected it to this particular energy center.
What types of poses are especially beneficial?
Any poses that promote core strength and a sense of empowerment can be helpful.
Okay.
Think warrior poses, boat pose, or even sun salutations.
Yeah.
These poses help you physically embody that sense of power and confidence that the solar plexus governs.
It's amazing how these ancient practices connect to our energy systems in such profound ways. There's one more aspect of the solar plexus that I'm still pondering, its connection to negative polarity. Earlier, we talked about how it relates to service to self.
Right.
But I'm still grappling with how that energy can be used in a way that isn't harmful or manipulative.
It's a complex idea and one that requires careful consideration. The sources we have suggest that even those who lean towards service to self can tap into the solar plexus energy to achieve great things.
But it requires a conscious choice to use that power ethically and responsibly.
So it's not the energy itself that's inherently good or bad. It's how we choose to wield it.
Precisely. Imagine someone with a powerful solar plexus, a natural leader.
Yeah.
But instead of using that energy to dominate others, they choose to empower them, to inspire them, to uplift them. That's the potential of the solar plexus when it's in alignment with a higher purpose.
That makes me think of leaders throughout history who have inspired movements,
Yeah.
who have fought for justice and equality. They seem to radiate this inner strength,
Right.
this unwavering belief. Could that be a manifestation of a balanced solar plexus directed toward a noble cause?
It's certainly possible. The key takeaway here is that the solar plexus is a potent energy center, and its power can be used for both constructive and destructive purposes. It all comes down to our intentions, our choices, and our awareness of how we're wielding that energy.
This conversation has been incredibly insightful. I'm starting to see the solar plexus in a whole new light.
Yeah.
Not just as an energy center that affects our personal power,
Right.
but also as a force that shapes our interactions with the world and even the course of history.
And that's really the heart of this deep dive, to explore the deeper meaning and implications of this often overlooked energy center. It's not just about feeling confident or assertive, it's about understanding the very essence of our will, our drive, and our impact on the world around us. But there's one more aspect of the solar plexus that we haven't explored yet, a concept that might seem a bit esoteric,
Okay.
but has profound implications for how we understand this energy center.
You mentioned something esoteric.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Okay.
What haven't we covered yet?
Well, a few of the sources mention the solar plexus's potential
Okay.
to connect us to something called intelligent infinity.
Intelligent infinity.
Now, before you think we're diving into science fiction,
Okay.
hear me out. It's a concept that points to a universal consciousness,
Okay.
a source of infinite wisdom and energy that we can tap into.
Okay, I'm listening. But how does this intelligent infinity relate to the solar plexus specifically?
Think of the solar plexus as a receiver, an antenna that can tune into this universal frequency.
Okay.
When our solar plexus is clear and balanced, we're more receptive to the subtle energy, to intuitive insights, and even to a deeper understanding of our place in the grand scheme of things.
So it's like the solar plexus is a bridge, not just to the heart chakra,
Right.
but to something even greater.
Yes.
Something beyond our individual selves.
Exactly. And this is where the discussion of negative polarity gets really interesting.
Okay.
The sources suggest that those seeking to polarize towards service to self can also use the solar plexus to tap into this intelligent infinity. But their intentions are different.
That's a bit unsettling. Are you saying someone could use this connection for personal gain or even manipulation on a larger scale?
It's a possibility that's worth considering. The sources emphasize that those on a negative polarity path often seek power and control, not just over individuals, but over systems and institutions. They might use their connection to intelligent infinity to manipulate events or influence people for their own ends.
That's a heavy thought. It makes you wonder about the motivations of those in positions of power. Could they be tapping into this energy, consciously or unconsciously, to advance their own agendas?
It's a question that each of us has to grapple with. The key takeaway here is that the solar plexus, with its potential to connect us to intelligent infinity, is an incredibly potent energy center. And like any powerful tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
So what does this all mean for us? How can we use this knowledge to navigate our own lives and the world around us?
I think the first step is awareness. By understanding the potential of the solar plexus, both its positive and its shadow side, we can become more conscious of our own energy and the energies of those we interact with.
So it's about paying attention to our gut feelings.
To those subtle cues that tell us if something feels aligned or misaligned, empowering or manipulative.
Precisely. And the second step is to cultivate a balanced and strong solar plexus. Through the techniques we discussed earlier, affirmations, visualization, yoga, we can strengthen our own inner compass, making us less susceptible to external manipulation and more aligned with our own authentic purpose.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
We've explored the solar plexus from its physical location to its connection to universal consciousness.
We have.
We've discussed its role in personal empowerment, its potential for both positive and negative expression, and even its capacity to bridge us to a higher wisdom.
And as you go forth, we encourage you to continue exploring this fascinating energy center. Pay attention to how it manifests in your own life, in your relationships, and in the wider world. The solar plexus, like all chakras, is a doorway to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe we inhabit.
Well, listeners, there you have it. We've reached the end of our deep dive into the solar plexus chakra. We hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity and provided you with some valuable insights. Until next time, keep diving deep.